Warning! The following content may contain elements that are not suitable for some audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
Fuck Fairyland. Oh, what's going on, guys? It's Monday night, and we're back live with Modern Men Monday. We got a nice roundup for you guys tonight. We're going to review I Hate Fairyland based on 57 votes. Dang. So if you guys didn't see last week, it's actually 54 votes, but 3 people voted after the cutoff, and they all were all votes for I Hate Fairyland. So the rabid, crazy, insane Scottie Young fans came out of the woodworks. We thought we had 2 ringers, and Infinity Gauntlet and V for Vendetta, but no. They just kept going down the pole because Scottie Young, I don't know if he just woke up on this whole fan base like these modern men have to review I Hate Fairyland. So 30% of the vote. Thank you guys so much for participating in our community tab that we kind of didn't even realize existed until, like an hour before last week's Modern Men. Scottie Young fans came out in droves, 30% to I Hate Fairyland. So we'll be trying this out again tonight. So stay tuned for the 5 books you can vote on throughout the week. And the voting will cut off Friday at 10 p.m. as the winner will be announced on Comic Core Roundtable. But right now, let's go ahead and get into the chat first, and then we'll get into tonight's panel. So first in the chat, oh man, my first subscriber ever, Fish Tropic. All thumbs up around the table. Thank you for joining us tonight, Fish Tropic. This next guy, he's bad news, but he's in every chat ever. Chris Barrett, how you doing, man? He's always here supporting the Comic Core. And it's him. It's DNP, Downright Nerdy Podcast. Andy, didn't you just do a podcast with this guy?
I did. It's last night on the Bored and Annoyed YouTube channel. We reviewed issues 4, 5, and 6 of Saga, and DNP and Bored and Annoyed are both new readers, so that's a pretty exciting show.
Nice. We got Scott Evans in the chat as well. He always reads along and joins us, so curious to see what maybe his thoughts are on I Hate Fairyland, if he even wanted to read it or anything like that, because some of us took some arm twisting, that's for sure, on this panel here. So, and we got the Mastodon. What's going on, Donnie? Nice to see you in the chat tonight. And we got Chad R. He says, hey, gang, what's going on, Chad? And we got that Stream Elements robot. He's keeping everybody in line with his blue wrench tonight. And what's we got the Comic G-Man saying, what up, y'all? Nice Planet Comics logo there. And once again, Chris Barrett saying, oh, Scott. All right, so tonight we're going to talk about collecting habits. It sounds like a generic term, but I wanted to throw it out there at some point just to see, like, especially JB, he'll be joining us shortly, and then Andy, the newer collectors, as opposed to maybe me and Drew, if reading these trades, these hardcovers, reading digitally, if anything's changed in your habits throughout 23 episodes of Modern Men, I'm curious to hear you guys' response tonight. We also have Phil Ailing tonight. What's going on? And we got Gretzky 9966. But let's get into the panel we got here right now. I was going to toss it over the guy with perfect attendance. ComicManAndy, how you doing, Beard?
I can't do this, man. This feels all wrong. I got to fix this. Hold on. Okay, there. Okay. Okay. I feel better now. I don't feel upside down now.
Wow.
Everything's right with
now
the world.
I'm in the basement. It's all right.
Hey, I'm back. The beard's here. Damn. And to go with this week's topic, the beard is magical.
How did you grow the beard back then? I feel like it was just yesterday you shaved that beard. It's like it never went anywhere. That is just
got to be
majestic.
Pixie dust and all of the beer.
Yeah, it's only 8 months of normal growth.
Drew, how you doing down there in the basement?
Man, down here in the basement, solo style. I like it down here, gang. It's roomy. It's nice and cool. Dark, dank, the way that I like it.
Yeah. We got Discovery Bay saying Andy is struggling up there. He needs to be switched into his normal spot before he erupts.
There you go.
All right, so we're going to talk I Hate Fairyland. So like I said, crazy, rabid Scottie Young fans came frothing at the mouth, voting in that poll. I'll be honest, I'm not the biggest Scottie Young guy. I see his Marvel variant covers for everything. I don't think I've ever bought a single one. Like I said, I appreciate his art style and his uniqueness that he brings. But at the end of the day, usually his art style just isn't for me. I understand why people like it. I'm not going to, dog it or anything like that. But to read an entire trade of his work, I'll be honest, I wasn't looking forward to it. But honestly, I read it. The first 2 issues were like twisting an arm to get through for me. Actually, I checked the time. I think I watched JB's dollar giveaways today during the middle of it, just to kind of like do something different. But once I started getting in issue 3 and 4 and 5, I kind of saw what they were starting to do, and I'm just like starting to dig this a little bit. So, Andy, what were your initial thoughts on I Hate Fairyland?
I had some reservations because when I see Scottie Young's art, 90% of the time it's cover. And to be honest with you, I don't like Scottie Young as a cover artist, but I love him with this entire book. His art through and through made this book, in my opinion. A simple cover, a lot of the Marvel stuff, but I mean, when the entire book is being done like this, I actually enjoyed it quite a bit. I really did.
Drew, this is your suggestion, Drew. So thanks for making us read this. So I guess we kind of already expect your answer, but what'd you think of I Hate Fairyland?
CWood, you're muffin fluffing crazy, man, if you don't love this book. This book right here is an homage to Mad Magazine, right? This book is classic cartooning at its best and turns everything that you want it to be on its ear and just delivers comedy page after page. Fantastic, colorful art. The team of Scottie and Francis Bellew is just perfect. The colors definitely match what you want out of this book. I think that the story itself isn't nearly as front and center. There's not a whole lot of narrative going on here until the last couple of issues of the trade. But I will say that that's not the star here. The star is the gags. That's all the laughs I got from this. All the gore. Yeah. And I love this. I love this book. This is one of the books that got me back into collecting comics that were not superhero comics. I picked this up. I flipped through the first issue. I bought the variant cover, which was a beautiful Fuck Fairyland variant. All of them were Fuck Fairyland variants. And I think those are spectacular, man. This got me into Scottie Young, not the Marvel variant covers. I buy the Marvel variant covers because of this book. I like his storytelling. Middle West is great. Yes. The Deadpool he wrote was good. The Rocket Raccoon series he wrote was good. The Rocket and Groot series that he wrote was good. I think that the guy knows how to tell a story. He knows how to get a joke to land. And I really appreciate this book for being kind of the bridge for me to get back into cartoon style storytelling.
Yeah, absolutely. Like for me, I don't know, when I was reading it, especially like after issue 3 and up, I almost had like these cartoon sound effects going on in my head as I was reading it. I'm like, man, I could really dig this as like an Adult Swim style cartoon series at some point. I think that would be kind of cool. But some of the things I appreciated in this book, like I really like the fact that they usually all open up with some sort of narrator or narration going on, kind of recapping what's going on, and then that narrator immediately gets killed off or murdered or something grisly bad happens to them. And then just random things like I like the initial part where she's talking, like the moon's talking to her after 26 years, and she just murders the moon. And then later you see that moon like 2 or 3 issues later, and then it's a crescent moon because it got its head blown up. And now that's all that's left of its head. And the other little detail I kind of like that as well is where you kind of see the sun in some panels, and it's kind of like almost a hidden highlight. Yeah, there's the moon right there with its head blown off, but it's still a crescent moon. So that one popped me. And then, like I said, on the flip side, you see the sun, And every time she's around, the sun's you can kind of see the sun. It looks like it's wanting to hide behind something.
Yep.
And it cracks me up every time. So yeah, the nervous sun, he's just like, I don't want none of this.
And she murdered all the stars.
Yeah. It's like, how do we eliminate all the witnesses? I just like how she's like she's just killing everything for no reason. So definitely thought that was hilarious. So any other like minute details you guys noticed you want to talk about?
Yeah, I wish I would have uploaded this panel, but when this character is there and he's got the slug life tattoo on his belly.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I really dug that because the first couple of the first page before that, you only get to see the life part. Like you're like, is it thug or is it slug? So when you go to the next page, you're like, oh yeah, it's slug. All right.
Does remind me a little bit of like one of my favorite artists, Rob Guillory. He's always sneaking those extra little jokes in the back of the panels.
The one trope that I really love, or I guess a gimmick that this book uses, is like at the end of issue 1, the queen sends the barbarian after her. Bam. Look at that dude. He's ready for war. He's got like 13 swords. He's got an axe. He's got a mace. He's got skulls all over him. This guy is undoubtedly a badass. And that is the cliffhanger for issue number 1. Issue number 2 starts with her having a conversation and a beer over at the bar, and his head is just sitting there. Constantly, they give you a cliffhanger that they never pay off. It's always resolved off panel. It's a running joke throughout the entire story, and all the way up until the end of this run, which is really, really great. And I love all of the censorship in here. Is like she's trying to swear, but Fairyland censors her, so she wants to say, she wants to be dropping muffin fluffers all over the place, but it just doesn't come out right for her. The first issue, when she's like the mushroom people send like squads after her, and she's like, "Your mushrooms, I'll just eat you." And then the next scene, she's tripping balls.
Yeah.
Just because she ate a bunch of mushrooms. She's like, have you ever seen thoughts or tasted thoughts? It's a really great book with a bunch of different comic book tropes in it that are like all these fantasy tropes are utilized in a different way.
Oh yeah, the evil witch too.
Yeah.
The witch is great.
The thing is like you call her an evil witch. Is it the main character who's evil though, and everyone else is like nice and kind around her?
Yeah, she's the most evil of evils. I think my favorite thing about this book is, and it might be issue 3. It's like smack dab in the middle, right? She gets knocked out, right? She falls off a cliff.
Yeah. Yep.
She gets knocked out. Yeah, you're showing it right there. And her fly, her fairy godfather fly, Larry. First, it starts raining. He puts a tent up, like a little lean-to. Then after that, he builds a house, and her beard starts growing out in these ringlets of curls as a beard. And then he like gets married. He expands the house. He has kids. His wife and kids leave him. He burns the house down. All this time, she's knocked out. It's just the passage of time, and it's literally like maybe 8 pages of art. This is a full page that's being shown right here on the screen.
Character who's growing the big beard is female, by the way. She's just growing a beard for no reason.
It's a cartoon.
I just like to think there was this whole side storyline with Larry where he basically he got drunk and burned his house down for the insurance money to screw over his wife.
It's like
that was my favorite part as well.
It's like half the comic book's dedicated to that, and I loved it.
Yeah, it's great. And then she meets Happy, who is another little girl that they let into Fairyland.
She shoots rainbows. And the whole reason she was let into Fairyland is because it's got to be a loophole, because if she gets the key and opens the door to go home first, Gert is a permanent resident and then can be killed by Queen Claudia, which is also a great character. She's got fantastic lines, great zingers in this book. It's just
Larry is probably one of my favorite characters in comic books in the past couple of years, for sure. The reveal of, what was his name? Darketh Dead Death.
Yeah.
He's a giant bad guy. Let me show the panel here. He just like he's chilling all Bane style on a throne of skulls. He's made of skulls.
Why didn't I grab
skulls
that?
All over his place. Skulls on his cod piece. He's all about death, right? And she does his trials again off panel to get all souped up superhero style. And I think one of my favorite panels also comes from this. It's like she's this clown taps her on the shoulder, but really he's just like a giant, what's it called, like anglerfish or whatever.
Yeah,
inside the mouth of a monster. Just this level of imaginativity. That's not a word. Imaginativity, folks. Hashtag imaginativity.
it is now.
Yeah, it's a word. I said it 3 times. You only get this from a creator like Scottie. I really enjoyed this.
Well, I like the whole trip getting to his castle. Getting to his castle, that whole trip. She goes right up the steps, right to the first guard, and just murders him right on the spot. And the fly's like subtle, really subtle. How do you pronounce his name again? I keep calling him Larry in my head, but
Laragon.
That whole trip getting to that castle was pretty hilarious. It was only about maybe 5 or 6 pages, but
see, my whole thing, my one pet peeve in the whole story is you got the Cloud Lady or what? Sorry, the names escape me right this second.
Claudia. How do you she's the Cloud Lady? Claudia.
Yeah.
Kind of like a mix between Clouds and that hot ass waitress from Dallas.
Oh, jeez. Deep cut right there.
That's for long-time fans. It's for we gotta pay off continuity every once in a while with an Easter egg for long-time fans. And so Claudia from Texas Spice.
So our main character has been trapped in Fairyland for 2.5 decades plus. Yeah. And Claudia doesn't like her. So why doesn't Claudia just say, like, hey, here's the key, get the hell out of Fairyland for the love of God? That's what killed me from like the first issue. Like, if she's causing this much chaos and you can't damage her and she's supposed to be a guest, like, just let her go home.
But Carson, that would ruin the story.
I understand that, but it ruined the story kind of for me, saying that there was such an easy. I was kind of like you guys last week in the Magic Order, like, oh, I didn't like how they brought everyone back at the end. Like, well, I didn't like in this story how she just didn't get the key if she was that much of a nuisance to kick her out, because they're trying to figure out a way to get rid of her. You get rid of her by opening the door to go home.
But there's rules; they can't interfere.
Yeah, and part of me really, as I was reading, I was craving more substance, and I was like, God, this isn't that great. There's not a lot here. Then I realized that's what makes this great. Is its lack of depth and substance, and it gives you a very fun, creative story at face value with really good art, and it's fun. It's not supposed to be something that you dig 3, 4, 5, 6 layers into. So I was left wanting a little bit more, but then at the same deal, or at the same corner, there I was given something where I didn't have to work really hard to enjoy.
So let me ask you this, Andy. I know, Drew, you probably read the whole thing, right?
Yes.
So after reading that first trade, do you want to read volume 2? Does that make you?
I do. Comixology had this for, I think, like $6.
Yeah.
The first trade.
Yep.
So the second trade, I'm imagining, is either that or just a hair more. I do want to download and read that, depending on what we're reading next week.
Yeah, I didn't put it on the voting thing, but if you guys want to see it, suggest it later down the line for sure.
I think that this is enough to let people know whether or not they want to keep reading it. I think that's fair. Yeah. I don't think we need to be covering any more of it. It's basically more of the same until it ends, and it ends with a pretty cool ending.
Yep.
That gave me a chuckle.
Yep.
When I read the end of I Hate Fairyland, I was like, oh, it's over? I was like, well, it was all right. And I had a little chuckle at it. I think that I really enjoyed this volume Gives you everything you want out of I Hate Fairyland, and if you didn't get it out of this, you're not going to get it out of the rest of it.
He looks pissed, Drew. He looks pissed.
He probably is pissed. He's been following around that brat for 27 years. I would suggest that if you haven't read this, give it a shot. When I was reading this off the shelf, it's like Captain America was the head of Hydra, and we were getting right into the meat of Tom King's Batman being really terrible. And it's just like everything I picked up was serious in one way or another. It's like we got Batman talking about suicide for 6 issues in a row. And, Captain America's a Nazi. And like, oh, well, at least I can just laugh my ass off at this.
Yeah, so for me, like, I guess we'll go ahead and go into overall scores. I think for me, I'd probably give this a 7 out of 10. Like I said, I had a few chuckles. I definitely enjoyed the part where Laurie burns his little mini house down. She grows a beard for no reason. There were definitely laughs to be had. But, once I got to that last page, I was just like, kind of glad it's over. I didn't really find myself wanting to read too much more than the first volume. That being said, I did enjoy Scottie Young's art more than I thought I would. It's very colorful, like you said. If they decided one day, like, hey, let's make this a cartoon series on HBO Max or Adult Swim Cartoon Network, I think that'd be a phenomenal idea. I'd probably actually watch a couple episodes of that. But at the end of the day, not the book for me, but I still respect the people who like it and enjoy it. What about you, Andy?
I have to wholeheartedly go with a 9.0. And the only reason why this isn't a higher grade for me is I don't think this was ever written or created to be something that shoots for a 10.0 or for a 9.9. I think this was written and created to be a well-rounded, fun story to pull you away from serious things. So I'm sticking with a 9 on this. I enjoyed it. I'm definitely reading volume 2. Maybe after about a week. I could use a break from the Pepto-Bismol pink color, though.
That's true. What about you, Drew?
I think that you're absolutely right, Andy, that this was not designed to be a mind-blowing, universe-shattering event comic. Honestly, if you read the letters page in the first issue, Scottie pretty much talks about how he grew up on Mad Magazine and how he started buying Mad magazines to read with his son. And that really inspired this. I think if you look at it from that perspective and you just go into it looking for a fun cartoon ride, you'd have as much fun as I did. This is a 9.8.
Wow. Okay. Well, if you guys liked our review of that, definitely vote in our poll that we'll present at the end of the show. Like I said, I think once again, the 54 votes that came in and voted to make sure we were going to review I Hate Fairyland. So we're going to try out the community tab again this week.
Yes.
So stay tuned toward the end of the show to see what our 5 suggestions will be.
Can you leave that up for a minute?
Yeah.
Dude, I really, really wholeheartedly enjoyed doing this route. It added a level of suspense. Usually when we end a show, I'm like, okay, I know what I'm going to get. Okay, am I going to go to my LCS? Am I going to go to eBay? Am I going to go to Comixology? And I shop around for a little bit. This added like 3 or 4 days of suspense. I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to read? So I walked out. I bought V for Vendetta, knowing that I wanted to read it anyways, whether it won or not. And Drew made that joke in the chat. He's like, hey, now that you bought it, it's not going to win. I'm like, you're probably right. But I really enjoy this, and I enjoy wholeheartedly how many people are coming to vote for this, because every time somebody votes and you look and something gets the lead and then something loses the lead, it's like watching a race for a week. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was so close that like I remember JB talking about it on one of his live streams, and Chad RCG was in that live stream, and he was kind of mocking JB. He's like, hey, I got control of the vote, because literally like it was tied between V for Vendetta and I Hate Fairyland. You couldn't have 2 polar opposites of each other, but they were tied in this poll. So definitely a fascinating experiment we're going to keep rolling with and see what happens here. But before we get into tonight's main topic, we got to revisit the chat for sure. Scott Evans is dropping his opinions in there. He says, I mistakenly read the first one-shot after the series ended first. That was not good. anytime, and Chris Barrett says, anytime a story is meant to be fun, I say it's better than anything that's meant to be earth-shattering. Scott Evans says, but this was 6 issues with 3 to 5 saved a day. I'm bumped to an 8 for me. So
Okay.
he's giving it an 8. So, and then he says, it was like watching a slow race, but your horse is losing. Several horses got sick there to say that.
Ain't nobody care about Marvels, Chris Barrett. That's what we found out.
Yeah,
Almost as many people care about Batwoman Elegy. So, I mean,
I'll keep hugging.
even if that was just to troll me.
I do want to read Marvels one day, but that was funny.
Let's see here. I got to mock Drew real quick before we continue. I'll just keep hugging my Batwoman Elegy slab. That's a J.G. Jones variant cover. So, yeah.
I have all those issues.
You're going to get burns if you keep hugging it.
But unfortunately, it didn't make the questionnaire for this week. Unfortunately, folks. Not on the poll, the Batwoman Elegy. Not on the poll.
I probably just gave her Corona. But anyway, we'll keep going.
She's on the poll, just the stripper poll.
We got Mark the Cuddy Sark saying LMAO. Oh, we had Rod Justarican and his comics in the chat. What's going on, man? JB, hopefully he'll be with us soon. Right now, he's being a good dad again. No, he's got strife going on at home because of, everything that's going on in the world. He's going to try to make it tonight, but we wish you the best, JB, if nothing else. But hopefully we'll get a chance to get his opinion on his collecting style. But tonight, we're talking about how we collect. So basically, we're going to go over all the fun details of how we collect. Do we do dollar bins? Do we do eBay? How do we store this crazy stuff? Is it just laying in piles all around you, kind of like it is me right now? Do you start using this a little bit more since the invention of modern men? Andy, I'm going to start with you because I am the most curious to hear what your collecting situation is like.
Oh, my God. How much time do you have? Holy hell.
34 minutes.
I'm like no offense to anybody who is schizophrenic, but I'm like a schizophrenic when it comes to collecting now. I was diehard and set in my ways for a very long time, and I sold my collection off. And after I got out of the military, I was working to rebuy and rebuild my collection. I was diehard in my ways for a while, but I don't know what it is. Something about life influences in certain ways, whether it's shows, whether it's friends, whether it's advertisements. I don't know. 1 minute, if I've got money burning a hole in my pocket, I got gas in my tank, I want to drive all over this west side of my state looking through bins and finding stuff. Then I get burnt out on that for a little while, and then I start focusing on my personal collection really hard for a few months. Then I let go of that, and I start looking at like, well, hey, what kind of keys are still $4, $5, $6, $10 that I can buy a couple of and maybe send to CGC and get some 9/8s or some 9/6s. Or then I get into convention mode and I want to go and my collecting is like squirrel. I like to think that I'm organized and I have a good handle on my collecting. I do not. I literally do not. We could talk about it for an hour.
Well, you came to the right place. True. What are you collecting these days?
The way I'm collecting these days is way different than the way that I've collected in the past. Trying to trim down my collection. If I find a series that I really, really like, I will go like all variants for it. Just to kind of put a box of that thing together. But right now I'm trying to pare my collection down. I'm down to probably about 7 long boxes of DC Comics and 40 long boxes of Marvel Comics and probably about 4 or 5 long boxes of independent comics. And I'm trying to get rid of a lot of those down to 1 CGC slab box of slabs. And I got like 1 magazine box that's pretty much full of wizards. And
Nice.
and yeah, and most of my magazine size, I just keep in a folio, so I don't have to really worry about bagging and boarding them. Like I have, most of it is, Black Label stuff. Just it's in here, it's safe. I don't have to worry about it, and I don't have to worry about getting another short box magazine size. I'll just grab another folio if I run out of space in there. So I think keeping those on the shelf like a bookshelf is really nice. And I'd like to get to a point where I can keep key issues in folios on a bookcase, and then just keep some runs that I'm collecting in the long boxes. Try to get rid of some of these things and trade up, if you will, just for space reasons. I got so much stuff, man, so much stuff. And I mean, I live in this room right here with 40 long boxes on the shelf.
40?
Oh yeah, man.
Holy
yeah,
shnikes.
5 high, 8 across.
Dang.
Yeah, man. And that's just my Marvel collection. So I've got probably about 3 long boxes of random stuff that hasn't been folded in yet. Such is life.
That's crazy. I think I've got a fair deal of short boxes because I can't stand having to heft around or lug around long boxes, but
they don't go pretty much anywhere.
I can't imagine having 40 long boxes. I'm with you though. A portion of me this year for 2020 really wants me. I'm cutting back on a lot of the series that I was following wholeheartedly. To make room for some big PC buys, some big personal collection buys. And I'd like to find some of those people out there that are looking for some of these collections full runs and eventually move some of those books. But oh God, you're gonna send me a picture, aren't you? You're gonna send us a picture. 40 long boxes? I can't even fathom 40 long boxes. I couldn't fathom
there's some dirty laundry in this pic too, but I'll post it on the internet. I don't care.
Everybody's got dirty laundry.
But we got JB joining us, DiscoveryBay Comics. He's been live streaming like all day. JB, how you hold up, man?
Well, we are on mandatory shelter in place here in Cocoa County, California. And with that, my wife works the hospitals. She's stuck there. She's in something what they call command center. So things are crazy out here. We're just kind of,
you come to the
down
right,
and
you've come to the right spot, JB. I got something for you. I got something special here.
All
Why
right.
do dads always knock on the fridge before they open it? Just in case there's a salad dressing.
Oh, that was bad.
Wow. You like that? Discovery Bay representing Cocoa County.
Welcome back, JB.
How you doing? Yeah, sorry, fellas. Yeah, it's been a hectic day. I never had a chance to read the book with everything that was going on. And then at the last minute, my wife says she ain't going to be home. So I had to take care of the dinner and the kids and the yada, 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 yada. So here I am, right when the show's getting good.
Getting better now.
So is it my turn?
On that book.
I'm not going to hate on the book. No, I didn't get a chance to read the book. I'm not hating on the book.
You don't have to be the only one hating on the book. Everybody else hating on the book.
I don't have to be there. But
hey, man, people
I was
voted.
excited when I saw this topic, fellas. I mean, seriously, honestly, gentlemen. What was it? 15 months ago when I started getting involved and, got back in during my quote unquote midlife crisis. I was still working. Unfortunately, all the money I was earning in my job, we were wasting. And I kind of just rechanneled that waste into kind of bad buys, a lot of bad buys. Oh my goodness.
Holy Drew.
Yep.
Drew, you
That's just
have
my Marvel
a
collection.
problem.
Bro, I've got more than
That's
a
just
problem.
your Marvel? Wait a minute. That's just your Marvel collection?
Fuck. I gotta take another.
Oh, no.
Let me ask a follow-up question to
Oh, my
these shelves. Those books and those boxes, are they organized?
Yes.
Nice.
Yes,
Yeah,
they are.
That's good then.
They are
Wow.
organized. They are organized alphabetically. The last, the bottom 2 rows are all X-Men books.
Wow.
Wow.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
I feel
That's like right up there with Rob Wurst kind of thing. Have you seen his little setup where he can kind of physically reach about 50 something long boxes?
Oh, I can't physically reach them all. Like, this is. I'm gonna send another picture too.
Rob's got like a cubicle around
Yeah,
him. where-
he's in like it would be like having 2 rows of shelving, but being in between the 2 rows of shelving. So you got all those, and then you've got all those. Yeah, it's kind
I
of
feel so inadequate right now.
You don't feel inadequate at all. You probably have more value right behind you on those 2 shelves than I do in all 40 of those long boxes.
Oh,
So
What's that? That's the DC.
Did you
dude?
Wait,
let me upload it real
God
quick.
forbid you ever have to move, brother.
I just moved all of these books.
You just moved them all.
I think we just witnessed Drew shitting on his Marvel collection.
Holy
I'm not shitting on my
moly.
Marvel collection, but like, I mean, there's a lot. I mean, there's runs of Avengers from the 90s. Like, that's not worth it. Like, I've got all of Alpha Flight up there, so that's not.
Oh, I love Alpha Flight.
Yeah, but it's not worth anything.
No, that's the.
I got Force Works. Like, I got all of Force Works. You know, all of Force Works is there.
Do you have Extreme X-Men in there?
I do have Extreme X-Men. Which volume?
The original, the 90s, late 90s, early 2000s dollar volume.
While Drew's uploading that, and while JB's doing something here, we'll do the Comic Man Andy experience.
Let's zoom in on this.
That's my setup.
Wow.
That's
all,
not bad.
all my slabs and then all my raw books.
That's
right
not
there.
bad at all, man. I don't want to. It'd be embarrassing. This place is a fucking disaster.
Dude, you've got more sitting next to you in a stack on the floor in boxes still.
Oh my god.
Than most people have in their collection. So.
Oh my god, dude, this is ridiculous right now. It's just so yeah. I'm ready. So when you first get into this and you got a shit ton of disposable income and you're having a midlife crisis, you buy a lot of books.
Hell yeah.
You just buy whatever the fuck you want. Honestly. I'll be honest with you.
I got
whatever I wanted, I just bought it. Sorry.
JB, I got something to sell you, man. Hopefully you're not running low on supplies, but we've got the old crochetable, reusable toilet paper.
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
$9.99 a roll, man. You got my PayPal. Go ahead and send the money.
You're funny, man. So one of my favorite memes is the guy that the one that says you should have seen the look on the kid's face. You should have seen the look on the kid's face when he found out we didn't have a dog because he was cleaning up the shit. All right. Anyway,
that's a bunch of shit going on over there.
That's a lot of books.
Like all these X-Men boxes in the middle, they're empty at the moment.
Okay,
they're those graphic short boxes.
But
everything else is goddamn full.
God, now I need a Boba Fett right there.
Yeah,
dude, you want that one? I'll mail it to you. It's going to cost me an arm and a leg, but I will. I mean, I got to get rid of that thing at some point.
That's a hell of a shipping fee for that.
Yeah, that'll lay flat.
Very good.
What she said.
Now, in 15 months, you've seen a drastic change. There's still a stack of books, but they're actually books I'm really, really looking for. And this now has to pay for itself because I don't work. And wife said, hey, this is the deal. As long as this shit pays for itself, I really don't care what you're doing there. So, hey, as long as this thing pays for itself, it's good. Now, I still get a lot of books on, New Comic Book Day. I have trimmed that down. When I first started, again, I was pre-ordering from 2 different sites, not sure what I was getting from either one. Still running out to the LCS, ending up with 3 or 4 copies of the same book. Don't do any of that anymore. I've got the weekly pull down to 10 or less. And as books in this pile, you know what happens with these piles. A lot of this is going to go back out. I'm cherry picking the couple of books I want from big runs, right? And when they go into this side to get put away, I'm taking books out because that's it. This is an infinite space, and there's not going to be piled up like that. I'm sorry, my wife would not have that. I can't.
Yeah, I think
that's a fire hazard.
I'm trying to get down to
that
40.
Is my wife calling me. Hold on.
Because if I can have just this shelf that fits 40 on it, ceiling, floor to ceiling, then I'm perfect with that.
Yeah,
so I'm trying to get rid of everything to the point where I can keep everything in 40 and rotate in what I'm reading, and just get rid of a bunch of runs that I read, and I have I mean, like, yeah, I read all of West Coast Avengers. Like, I don't ever need to reread West Coast Avengers again.
I've got a few runs the same way, but now more modern runs where I'm getting to the end of something and I'm like, nah, I'm getting out of that.
Right, and I think that I'm getting into being more of an omnibus hardcover collector. I enjoy those, and if I can get rid of my runs and replace them with a bookshelf full of books, hey man, that's definitely easier to explain to the significant other. Right? It's like, what are you bringing to this relationship? Well, 40 long boxes of comics. Is it different than like 2 bookshelves, like of really high quality reads?
Well, legend. I tried selling
I
him my
tried
product at the start of the show to help him out.
Crochet.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
I mean, so Carson asked a great question earlier before we went live, is how has modern men affected your collecting individually? And I'll wholeheartedly say that I shunned digital comics 100%. Not anymore.
Okay, I agree with that.
Not anymore. I
agree
don't.
with that.
It's a
Plus,
convenience.
I love the trade.
It's
I'll
a
tell you
convenience.
what. I love
I
my
love having
trade.
the comic book in my hand, but when you've got
Hold
less
on. Where's
than
the? I
72
got the whole
hours
stack of modern men.
or less than 4 days to get a comic book in your hands and get it read, and it's not something your LCS has. Yeah, Comixology and the DC app and the Marvel app, those are great resources for getting that content and getting it read.
Modern Man's gonna make me go broke.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, bro. Look at those trades though.
But look, I couldn't stop. I couldn't. We only read Black Hammer 1. Did we go 1 and 2?
We just did one.
We
Just
just did
one.
1. I went 2, 3, 4. You know, Saga, we did 1, 2. 1 is missing because it's been
Yeah, man,
loaned
but you
out.
haven't hit all those Black Hammer side stories.
Southern Bastards. I've got issue number
Right.
2 loaned out right now. Come on, people.
We found probably at least 30 to 35% of the Modern Men reads at our library too, which
That's
has been
awesome.
awesome.
Yeah, I'd like to only be reading things that I'm buying for the most part. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not really a big spec buyer. I love when something I'm reading pops because then like, oh, Immortal Hulk, I can sell that for a couple bucks because it was a good read and I was reading it because it was a good read, and I didn't go out and punchline buy it because it was supposed to be hot. I went out and bought it because I was reading the book.
Yeah, the punchline became hot and it made me want to read it, so I was able to get it at cover price. But then I just threw it in my my raffle giveaway on my channel. And I'm like, yeah, somebody else is definitely going to enjoy this.
Is that
too.
still an active giveaway, Comic Man Andy?
Yes, it is. The end of this
Man,
month.
I haven't won yet.
end of this month on my channel. Check it out.
in his comments.
But
Look
like,
like I
yeah,
just
like
got,
Carson, you asked that question,
Disqualified.
and I was not a big trade paperback reader or a hardcover reader. I was devoutly the individual that would go out and buy the single issues to read a series or read a story until we've been doing this show for almost 6 months now. Until 6 months ago when we started doing the show, and I loosened up that ideology, and I'm like, you know what? Let's just read stuff and enjoy it. And holy hell, am I glad I let go of that old philosophy, because it's amazing. You can actually enjoy things a whole lot more when you're not focused on one way of collecting.
Yeah, I think for me, like, I don't know if it's really a secret. I've kind of talked about it on Roundtable several times on my own channel, but I'm slowly phasing out completely modern pulls, like the week-to-week issues. Since we've started this, I've just really enjoyed reading things in trade digitally and just getting a chance to talk about a whole story instead of just weekly pulls. Honestly, the stuff lately I just haven't been enjoying, besides maybe 3 total books.
Turtles.
3 books. What are the 3 books?
Turtles, Buffy.
Turtles. I'm going to take Buffy off the list.
Yeah, after we talked today, I was like, yeah, that's it. Like, he's only been reading 3 things. And he's shitting on one of them.
Curse of the White Knight and Ice Cream Man.
Daredevil, goddamn you, Daredevil too.
Batman, regular Batman is fire right now. I'm loving it. Come on.
I just didn't like the rest.
Batman's solid right now.
I'll read
It's
that.
solid.
Let's
Thor, you're not reading Thor?
Well, how about next week we discuss our pull lists?
Oh, I like it. Yes. Yeah.
My horse is sick.
Let's pull it.
I just discussed my pull list. That was it.
Yeah, well, you can
He's done.
you can host the show.
But there you go. Let's pull our poll list for the last 4 weeks for next week's episode.
But with all that, I'm not done collecting comics. I'm actually, like, if you guys watch the room way back when on my channel, probably over a year plus, I did a live stream where I just took my phone and just toured my room. And there's like a TV and some game consoles sitting here. I'm actually going to move that into my guest room. I'm going to build another shelf just like this behind me right here.
Oh, there he goes.
More
There he goes,
books.
folks. He's going to be collecting all them keys, baby.
More books.
Books I keep finding.
He's going to be unlocking doors, baby. Collecting
Do
them
you
keys,
know what
baby.
the weight of that shelf is right now?
I want to see if I can cave this whole
A lot.
floor.
You're not on the second floor, are you?
You better believe I'm on the second floor.
Oh wow.
No, I don't do that. Come on, man. That's a shit ton of weight.
I'll tell you right now that the shelf that I have it's a Gladiator tool shelf. Like it's for a garage. It's for power tools. It's for big, heavy metal things, and it ain't collapsing anytime soon.
I know, but you are also like not on the second floor, are you?
I was.
Oh my goodness.
Oh god.
This has been on the second floor.
I'm not worried
in two
about
different
the
buildings.
shelving breaking. I'm worried
The
about
floor.
your floor giving.
Nah,
Because
come
it
on.
wasn't built
Come
to
on.
hold that.
You know,
Sure it was.
No, it wasn't.
That's
Sure
another
it
thing to
was.
talk about.
At least though, I don't have those long boxes like Drew.
This place is up to code.
That's another thing to talk about when you talk about collecting. If you go get shelving, don't buy the cheap stuff. Here, seriously. I don't know if you guys can see it, but those HDX cheap shelves from Home Depot are bending under the weight of just short boxes. Can you see how the short boxes are curved towards the center of the shelves?
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah, they're bending. And those are like the $40 or $50 shelves. Don't buy the cheap shelves. Trust me. Buy the expensive shelves that Drew and Carson have.
Yeah,
Man,
go to Sears when they're closing the Sears and get it on a clearance deal. Mine was like
for like $40 on sale.
yeah, mine was like a $300 shelving unit. I ended up getting for like $60.
IKEA.
No,
Gem.
no,
You got
IKEA.
these big fat things. The
like-
short boxes fit right in them. You get
Yeah.
2, 4, 6, 8.
Oh,
2, 4,
shorties.
6, 8.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
dude,
yeah,
8 of them.
Nothing from IKEA is going to hold
8 of
long
them.
box.
Plus, it's stuff that I'm pulling. It's not like that where that's long-term storage, brother.
No, not really. I could slide one long box right out, and
That's
I
what she
mean
said.
the ones at the top, like, all right, from like C to like through Fantastic Four into maybe Iron Man.
Are
I
those
gotta
shorties or
take
long?
something off the top?
Oh,
No, they're long boxes.
You're gonna hurt your dude. I can't even. There are no long boxes in here at all. Everything.
I'm a
in here is
grown
short.
ass man, JP. I'm not gonna hurt
Dude.
myself.
You're gonna be pulling one of them son of bitches down and be like, oh.
That's why I
That's
lift
when it's
them
coming. We're
regularly
getting old.
to make sure I maintain my physical fitness.
That's his gym routine.
That is like the only gym routine right now is grabbing a long box off the top shelf, do a little clean and jerk to get it back up there.
Right?
Yeah.
Ooh, no.
They're only like
all
a full long box is what? 40
Two-
pounds tops?
Oh
No,
God,
not
no.
even.
Short box-
Oh
short boxes
hell
are
no!
40
You
pounds.
crazy.
Long boxes are like 80.
There is no way. I hoist those things all day, man.
For the love of God,
There's
Short
no way
box
they're 80
over
pounds.
35
We need to-
pounds easy.
we need to
I mean, I'm a
scale.
hoss,
Does
but
anybody
I'm
have
not that
scale?
much of a hoss.
So yeah, it's got to be at least 70.
We need to
Let's-
scale.
Chat, tell me, chat.
Chat, what's a long box weigh? 50 to 70 or less?
Oh,
Less than 50 or under 50?
Short box over 35?
No,
I
no.
don't believe that.
No, I believe a
Yeah,
short box. Hell
yeah,
yeah!
believe
Come
that.
I
on.
don't believe that.
Hell yeah! It's got 120 comics in it.
Yeah, but I
Oh
don't think
God,
that's
I gotta know.
35
I gotta know
pounds.
now.
Now, Chris Barrett's saying short boxes are about 20 pounds, long boxes are about 50.
Yeah, 50 pounds. Sure.
Okay.
50.
they
So
feel
he's
a
right
lot
at 50. Oh
I-
man, I'm
I
an old
believe
man.
that.
That's why that 20 is feeling like 50.
45 is probably more accurate.
That 20 is feeling like 50.
It could be my age.
But overall, going back to just the whole way, like I said, I'm phasing out like weekly pulls, but I've been having a blast reading digitally
I
on
agree.
Comixology, Marvel Unlimited, and when it works, the DC Universe app.
When
I
it
just
works, yeah.
My plan is like I've kind of cut myself off from Marvel for the most part, but don't hate me yet, Drew. My plan is
All right, I evened you out. And I cut off DC for the most part.
once those X-Men #1s hit, I'm gonna hop in to every X-Men #1 on when it hits Unlimited in a couple of weeks. So I'll let you know what my favorite X-Men books are of the new launch, and then I'll probably stick with the ones that I like.
I
And I
can't wait
make-
for next week now, man.
They're all
You got
good.
me all pumped up, Drew, because I got to find out which X titles you dropped. I hope you dropped something, right?
Me?
Yeah.
I didn't drop any X titles. Fallen Angels stopped.
No.
Oh, man.
I mean, dropped. Okay, I hear
That's
you.
the most
Excalibur?
interesting book to me.
Excalibur is still good.
Legend, I hope you're able to watch. His kids are playing the Fortnite again, it sounds like. So hopefully everyone's able to watch the show all right tonight. Says he's having issues on that iOS device. But we're about 10 minutes till the end of the show here. So are there any kind of closing thoughts on the way we collect? Andy, we'll start with you. Is there any final thoughts you want to add here?
Yeah, don't get drawn into the hype of what people tell you how to collect. Collect what you love, and you'll love what you'll collect. And don't get drawn into buying hot books if you don't like them. Don't do it. Don't do it. You'll save yourself a ton of money if you just don't do it. Just buy what you like, and if you're comfortable at certain price points and you're okay with it for your PC, your personal collection, go right ahead. But don't let external or internal pressures guide you in your collecting, because we've all kind of been through it, and we've all wasted hundreds of dollars going through that little 6-month or year-long a journey to the point where we're like, hey, you know, I need to rethink what I'm doing. So don't let that guide your collecting. Collect what you love, and you'll love what you collect. End of the day.
Wow. I don't think that. Well said, Andy. Well said. Drew, what do you have to add to that?
I don't have anything to add to that. I think that was perfect. Way to go, Andy.
JB?
Yeah, don't drink and buy. Don't drink and buy. That's like
drink and buy if you want. That's just
God, yeah. That's like half of my slab that I buy, or when I'm
watch this show and get what we're reading, because it's been the best stuff I've ever read in my entire life.
Yes.
Seriously.
Right.
This is the best stuff I've ever read ever. And I'm so happy to be on this show, because these titles that we've read have been awesome. Just awesome. I've shared them. I mean, when you are eager to share a title with somebody, you know it's good. You know it's good.
Oh yeah, when you get that goosebumps to talk to somebody about it, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for me, my final thoughts are, I mean, Andy nailed the hammer right on the head there. Like, you know, collect what you love. Don't let, you know, all these outside influences, you know, inspire you, because at the end of the day, like, you watch all the YouTube videos out there, you see these auctions, you see the big numbers going up, and you're just like, man, I wish I had this book. Man, I wish I had that book. Sometimes you just got to enjoy, you know, cracking the book open and reading it. And that's what I think the ultimate goal is with Modern Men, to actually, like, you know, celebrate some of these awesome runs that have happened the last couple decades, and, you know, kind of let everyone else know. Maybe we'll, you know, have some of these reads that someone didn't know about, and we'll get a chance to review them and read them all together as a community. So that's kind of the goal. In my opinion, I originally made Modern Men for. I was just like, man, I just want a show where we read these classic runs and really enjoy them. And we got some great perspectives here and opinions of those runs. So, you know, definitely, you know, everyone's going to make collecting mistakes in their opinion. Really, there aren't any, because you can collect however you want. You can buy all slabs or what have you. There's nothing wrong with that. I would just say, like, just don't go too crazy on your bank account if you don't have the room in your bank account, is my lasting advice. So luckily I haven't had that problem, because I buy cheap stuff like Buffy the Vampire Slayer. But yeah, that's all I got to say about that. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. So we'll go ahead and go into our panel in a second, but I think I planned out the next 2 weeks of Modern Men. Okay. So idea number one I had, and we could talk about the pull list next week, but, you know, there's a topic, because I actually have like a long winding list of topics on my iPad here. I'm like, what topic have we not covered that I said we're going to cover like a long time ago? And one of them was we did the TV shows, the top 5. It's been a long time since we've done a top 5. So one topic that people have been asking me about, like one person probably, like Kat, because she likes the cartoons. We need to cover the cartoons, guys. So next week, I think we're going to visit the top 5 cartoons based on comic books.
All right.
Hot damn.
Probably Turtles.
All right.
Turtles.
Yeah. That ends right there. Yep.
Turtles. So yeah, we're going to cover our other top 5 cartoons. So if you guys like the cartoons, like your Batmans, your X-Men, Spider-Man, X-Men Evolution,
your G.I. Joe, your
Joe, the 80s and the 90s were rife with great
80s.
Yes.
Cartoons.
60s Fantastic Four.
Yep.
So we're going to cover all that next week. But I want to talk quick about, I've already planned an episode 25, 2 weeks from now.
Wow.
I think you're going to have to make this a little bit of a special episode.
You overachiever.
A little bit.
What's
because
going on here?
I was watching the No Faces chat today. They're talking a little bit about Astonishing X-Men. And I'm like, maybe I should put that in the randomizer. Like, oh no, I want to put this X-Men tale in the randomizer. Maybe we should just have a whole episode about X-Men. How about that?
Ooh, very nice.
He loves Simpsons X-Men. JB, you're a Bronze Age.
I'm down.
It's the greatest franchise in the history of comics.
So
I'm
when we
so
get
ready for that.
we're going to talk all X-Men and the reads on the community tab. It's going to be 5 X-Men reads you guys.
Oh, very nice.
So think about now what X-Men reads you guys
Very
want to
nice.
read in week 25 of Modern Men. We're going to be doing all X-Men, but let's go ahead and show the fans. And actually, speaking of fans, I want to get into the chat one more time before we go into what they can vote on next week, and we'll go ahead and sign off here. So we got No Good Comics. How you doing, No Good Comics? Nice to see you in the chat. He says
Clever
he definitely
name. I love it.
takes hype and emotion first couple years. Yeah, even when I got in the community, I was buying all kinds of crazy stuff, but luckily I've kind of decrescendoed and slowed down after that. And I actually saw this guy at C2E2 a few weeks back. Count Von Strange the Fourth put out a C2E2 haul video recently, so definitely check that out. He's got some great stuff. He got some awesome books and some cool art, so definitely check out that. We always got Fish Tropic, lots of thumbs up and some peace signs, so love my first subscriber, Fish Tropic, always in the chats. We got JD's in the chat. How you doing, JD? I hope you're doing good tonight. Definitely send you the best. Tomorrow will be Golden Guys. They actually just launched a promo video hyping up their 5G plan, so check out the
Is it a 1 year anniversary of Golden Guys?
1 year. 1 year for Golden Guys.
1 year.
So definitely
That's
check
awesome.
out JD's video. He just dropped right before Modern Men tonight. So once we're wrapped up here, check out that video to get into the hype of the 1 year anniversary of Golden Guys, which should air tomorrow at 10 p.m. Eastern.
Very cool.
And then, yeah, we still got Mark the Cuddy Sark in the chat. All right, let's go ahead and show the fans what they will be voting on next week. So we've all kind of tried to come up with at least like one book each to go here. JB is busy, so we just throw a second book in for you, JB. Hopefully you don't mind.
There was a second one? Oh, I didn't know.
But what I've decided is for these random votes is we each pick a book, plus the runner-up from the previous week gets bumped in to the fan vote.
So what was the runner-up?
V for Vendetta once again.
V for Vendetta will forever be the runner-up. I call it now. It's going to be the runner-up for 8 weeks running.
I would agree with that, yeah.
So maybe we'll finally get V for Vendetta. I know people have been clamoring about it. JB, how Big Will really wants
I know. That's awesome.
You're getting a second chance to vote for it this week. So JB, use all of your powers to shill V for Vendetta, and maybe we'll read it next week. But my first pick, I was going to talk about earlier today on my live stream that I had. I think we're going to have to go Batman Hush. I was talking about it today, and I was just like, man, I haven't read Jeff Loeb, the Jim Lee classic. One of the best Batman stories of the modern era for sure. Some beautiful Jim Lee art on the inside before he got like 10 other jobs at DC. He was focused on the art at that point. So I feel like Batman Hush is a great read. Andy had a good one. Andy, I'll let you talk about this one. Monstrous.
I'm excited to read this. I'm going to try to keep this on the list or close to being on the list from here on out. We were able to find a copy of the trade paperback volume 1 of this at C2E2 for a really decent price. So we grabbed the first and second volume. I'm hearing nothing but great things about this. This book has a lot of reader buzz behind it. So I'm really, and the cover art, I keep hearing constantly that the cover art that you see on there is the art that you get through the book. So I'm really excited to dig into this if it ever wins.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking for an excuse to read this as well. As I just showed the big hardcover I got at Half Price Books for cheap. So, and then next up, books. Yeah, oh yeah, I love me some Half Price books, man. That's why I got to build a new shelf. The next, anyway, we're gonna get into Drew's suggestion for next week. This one kind of surprised me from Drew. The Death of Superman. So, Drew,
come on, baby. I like me some DC when it's good, and this is probably the best DC got in the 90s. The follow-up to this was really fun. I thought that the lead up to it was a little confusing and kind of all over the place, and it really ended with a really great action-centric story. Just knock down, drag out action. I loved it. It was great, and I think that if you haven't read this yet, you need to read it. It's a must read for any modern era comic book fan. Yep. Superman died, folks. It made the news, right? Characters die all the time now. It never makes the damn news. This made the news. You should read it.
It sure did. And in the 90s, this went for what, 4 prints? 5. This was reprinted multiple times.
They printed 1 million of them the first time.
And they went back and printed more.
I mean, come on.
And I was just going to say, like, including myself, I can't think of a book that's got more people into a hobby than Superman 75 specifically. So definitely
vote for it.
Yeah.
Make this DruManchu's Modern Men. It's been 3 weeks in a row that my pick has made it. Make it 4, baby. 4, baby.
You shouldn't have said anything, man. You shouldn't have said it. Now you jinxed it.
All right, so our last pick. I don't know if you've read this, JB. You can plug it if you want. If not, you're in for a treat if this wins. But probably the most modern of the books on this list.
Yeah, no, I have them. I have them up here. So, yeah, I've read that too. Yes, that's good.
Yeah, Spider-Man life story. I'm kind of rooting for this one a little bit. Actually, I'm rooting for all 5 of them. I think they're all 5.
You should root for that one too, folks, because it's also my pick. 4, baby. 4 weeks in a row, baby.
But yeah, it's basically like a story of Spider-Man told from 1960 to the 2010s, and actually the continuity of this book follows all the way from the 60s to the 2010s. So you see a Peter Parker aging throughout the decades. It's something I kind of hope they do in more Marvel comics. I know they like to take a gimmick and run with it, like the Old Man Logan gimmick, the End gimmick, so on and so forth. I'd like to see more of the life story stuff, and it's written by Chip Zdarsky and Mark Bagley on the art, with legendary Spider-Man artist. You can't go wrong with life story, in my opinion. So
you can't go wrong with Zdarsky.
Can't go wrong with DruManchu picks. That's all I'm saying.
So, hit that mute button. There we go. That's better. I gotta get Drew once every time. So, hopefully that poll is already posted. I scheduled to post at 11. So go ahead and get your votes now. If not, I will definitely try to figure out a way to get that poll up because it was being annoying earlier. So now I'm just gonna and it's up. Sweet. So go ahead, and we already got 4 votes in. So
let me guess. They're all for Drew.
I don't know. Let's see. I got to vote for the ringer here. Actually, wow, really? So I'm going to take my vote off just because I'm kind of surprised that one book particular hasn't got votes. JB, you might want to go tell your buddy Big Will to vote. But anyway, the community tab. Get your votes in. We'll close the voting Friday, 10 p.m. Stay tuned to Comic Court Roundtable, and we'll announce the winner of the vote to see what we're going to read next week. But yeah, once again, week 24, we're going to be talking about top 5 cartoons about comic books. Week 25, that's the X-Men special.
Oh, God, yeah.
Check all that out. So any closing thoughts? Andy, where can people find you?
Oh, you guys can find me here on the Comic Court Monday nights. Modern Men. Love this show. Love being a part of it. You guys can now find me Sunday nights occasionally on the Bored and Annoyed podcast YouTube channel. Bored and Annoyed. We're rereading Saga, and 2 of the people on the panel have never read it before. That's really exciting. You can find me on the Pinkies Out podcast when we can get together. Our schedules are trying to line up so that we can drink some beer and we can talk some good stuff. More importantly, I mean, you guys can, like I said, you guys can find me here on the Comic Core Show Monday through Friday whenever they need me to fill in or something like that. You can occasionally find me on the Simpleman's Comics channel as well. And moving on.
Drew?
Oh, man. I currently can't work due to Corona fever. But you guys are going to be able to find me all week long. I'm going to be all over the tubes. You got a show, you want me to be on it, I'll be on it. You got a show and you don't want me to be on it, don't worry, I'm going to find a way to be on it. I'm going to be going live on my own channel. I'm going to be going live on the Comic Core. Hopefully, I'm going to be hanging out with JB and doing some discovering some bays at some point this week. We're gonna hang out, man. We're gonna look. You want to do the morning show? I'll do a morning show. I'll do a late show. I'll do an afternoon show. Let's do the prime time show.
I go live 3 times a day. Come on,
DruManchu's brunch hour. We're coming at you guys. We're coming at you live. I got nothing to do. I can't go out and spend money because no money's coming in. Maybe I'll do an auction and try to bring some money in. Last time I did that, nobody bought anything. We're going to find out a way to have fun and not lose my mind while I'm trapped in this house with a bunch of frozen pizzas and a bunch of bubbly water. And my lighter just died, so we'll probably have to run to the gas station for that.
I got boxes to open tomorrow. Somebody hit me up.
Dude, let's open some boxes. I don't got any boxes.
Oh, we got boxes. Yeah. Everyone's got boxes. I got boxes.
But I'll hang out and watch you open a box.
JB, what's going on in your channel? What is it going on?
3 times a day. I'm trying to go live 3 times a day. I'm normally canceling the late show, but the morning show has been pretty consistent. Now, it's been pretty consistent that not many people watch it either. But hey, I'm still putting it out there every morning, 9:30 a.m. Pacific time, 12:30 p.m. East Coast time. And then right in the middle of the day, I'm on live. And then tonight, I'm going to go Disco After Dark. I think I have a guest, and that's the most important part, is trying to get a guest. And once you got a guest, then you just go live for an hour and have a good time. Because most of my streams are just a bunch of hanging out, so people can chat with each other.
Hell yeah!
Nice.
Yeah.
Actually, should I announce what we're doing week 30 of Modern Men real quick? Well, I'm making.
You're already out to week 30. You just said week 25.
I only had
listen, JB, we've got a planner here. All right.
So week 30-ish, maybe week
Spreadsheets.
29, depending on schedules of the 4 of us and that stuff, because you never know what's going to happen in the world next. But I'm thinking every 10 episodes, we do something big, like a big read. So week 19, we did The Watchmen, and we built a whole episode about The Watchmen.
I did finish.
I think week 30, before people start suggesting it for randomizers, I just want to get it out there. Around week 30, I'd like to plan something Dark Knight Returns.
Let's do it.
I think we should do it. We'll build a whole
ComicManAndy doesn't seem down for it. What's wrong, Andy?
What's wrong, Andy? No love?
I don't know.
Gotta read more Frank Miller.
I don't know. What do you mean?
Scott
I don't know.
I'm just being dramatic. Just being.
Come on, man.
Oh man, are we gonna?
All right, instead we're gonna read Dark Knight 2 for Andy.
Oh God, yeah. Anyway,
Wow.
Hey, it's got to be better than Batwoman Elegy.
on my channel, I did a live stream today where I bagged and boarded, and people actually joined me, like JB and Drew. So thank you guys for joining me earlier. We had a fun 2-hour live stream where I just bagged and boarded a crap ton of books. Tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern, we're going back to the Tuesday night live stream. I got a nice antique store haul to show. I didn't read too much, but hey, we'll have a little bit of fun. If it only goes 20 minutes, hey, it only goes 20 minutes. If it goes an hour, which I'll probably ramble on for an hour, we're going to go an hour. So we got the Tuesday night live stream. Otherwise, I'll be on Comic Core Roundtable this week for all that fun. I'm sure Drew will be right there next to me. And catch all the wonderful shows we have here on the Comic Core. Once again, Golden Guys, same time, 10 p.m. Eastern, Tuesdays. The greatest comic book show ever, Wednesdays, 10 p.m. You can catch John, Bear Island, Alec Whitewell Comics, and Comics Misexplained. He won't be gone too soon. He'll be there with them on Wednesday. And then Friday, you got the Comic Core Roundtable. Me, Drew, the Great Legend Show. That's ourdaddy.com, whatever. He's also
ourdaddy95.
Sorry, man. YouTube.com/ourdaddy95. But anyway, then Comic Core Cat Run Figures. And who knows what Mark's going to be eating? You have to tune in to find out. But watch all those wonderful shows on the Comic Core 10 p.m., except for Thursdays. We're still trying to figure that one out. But in the meantime, JB, you want to sign us out?
Not really.
Don't forget. No, it can't end like that. No.
What?
Oh, come on. It can't end like that. You got to sign us out.
Don't forget, we drink red wine.
Was that good enough?